Yo, YouTube, what is up? I'm back with another video. So today I'm going to be making cookies. Make it pretty quick. I have matcha because it's matcha season, so you got to go with a matcha cookie. On that cookie, it'll be white chocolate and fondant, and then I'm going to end up doing a pistachio praline with chocolate chip, which basically I'm going to end up making a caramel out of pistachios and sugar, and then I'm going to add chocolate chips in the cookie. Let's get into the video. So what we're going to do is basically start with creaming butter and sugar together. Butter needs to be softened as well. Creaming is when you take butter, sugar, you take and mix it until it has become fluffy, basically. So typically we do it with a paddle attachment. You can use a whisk attachment as well if you want to do that. If you don't have that, you can just hand mix it too, and that should be fine. So I have 60 grams of butter, and then we're gonna do 100 grams of sugar, 200 grams of sugar, 60 grams of butter, 200 grams of sugar. All you want to do is just let that go until you see it come together and it looks fluffy and it's gaining some size, and it should be smooth and emulsified. In between this, you should be scraping out your bowl, so you just take a rubber spat or anything else and just press everything down. Just make sure there's like nothing that's like not mixed together all the way on the bottom or things that are like on the top of it. So after we're done with that, we're gonna, usually you would just sift everything in, but I'm doing this at home. It's not in a restaurant, so it's a little different. Take your flour, add that in, your baking soda, and I'll have measurements for all of this inside of the directions as well, and then your salt as well. So I'm going to start this, and then I'm going to pour more of the flour into it as we're going. And like I said, as you're going, make sure you're scraping out your bowl so you can get everything into it. And you should come out with something that looks similar to the texture of sand. After you've gotten the texture of sand and your bowl's been scraped down again, you can add your egg into it while the machine's going on low. While you're doing this, you don't want it to overmix because it actually causes gluten to form. Gluten is basically what makes bread stick together, or anything that's carb. Basically, it's the strands inside of something that's made out of protein. You don't want it to make your cookies chewy, not in a sense of like, okay, that was too high. But basically, you just want it all to be one big ball. That's pretty much it. So after your eggs mixed in, you don't want to over mix it, but you want it to come into a big ball. And you'll see it'll look like it's clay, basically, where you can mold it into like a house or something. That's the best thing, or a ball, basically. Basically like that texture. You can see it, it's in a ball. That's just a piece out of here. And with this dough, you can basically make whatever flavor you want to make now because there's nothing added into it. So if you just want to do sugar cookies, add some sugar. And you already know what I'm doing with mine. So and the other cookie, pistachio one, I was talking about earlier. Some white chocolates, chips. I don't know if I said white chocolate earlier or dark chocolate, but I think I'll do both. Be a lot of white chocolate chips inside of here. Which is cool though, because no one's gonna complain about that. I should just throw some cocoa butter chips in here instead of white chocolate. As a prank. So basically we're gonna be doing a pistachio praline. So praline is just nuts and caramel. So it's gonna be 30 nuts, 30 sugar, and that's in grams, and then about 10 grams of water to make a wet caramel. And sugar and water's already in here. One nut just fell down, but it's cool. We're just gonna use what we have right now. So all you're gonna do is mix this. They say don't stir, it doesn't really matter if you stir or not. It's not really gonna do anything because all of this you want to crystallize anyway, and then it's gonna melt back down to a caramel. So. And just let that go until it turns brown. You're gonna need a silk pad and a pan before you start as well to dump this hot mixture onto, and then let it cool down on here. It'll get hard, and then you can take it and put it on top of your cookies. Or whatever else you want to use it for. It can be used for anything. You can chop it up and just put it in whatever you want. So usually it's supposed to wait 30 minutes while these cool off in the freezer, but I don't feel like doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop these nuts up really quick. I'm gonna drop them on here, throw them inside the oven at 350 for about 12 minutes, and they should be good. Actually, I know they'll be good. I made them. So what I have is white chocolate, dark chocolate, and then a pistachio praline. Praline is basically nuts that have been cooked inside of a caramel. I let them cool in the pan, cut them up, and then throw them on top of cookies. You can throw it on top of anything else as well. That's the dessert. And then over here we have our matcha, fouilletine, and white chocolate chips. Fouilletine is basically a really, really thin cookie. Basically, if you've had fortune cookies, you've had fouilletine. It's just fortune cookies are thicker than 14. So yeah, delicious. All right, so cookies are done, and they're big cookies. I know which one I want to start with first. So my personal favorite is anything like toffee. So I'm gonna try these ones first that are stuck together, and they're crispy. Yeah, let's go with these. So the caramelized inside of the cookie, so it's actually a really crunchy cookie, which me, I don't mind. It's actually nice. I'm salivating. Super good. The matcha ones, softer in the middle. It's actually really nice. It tastes pretty fucking matcha too.